Chris Reis versus Charlie Clemons.
See, this guys is a strong matchup because I'm gonna start with Chris Reis. I feel like Chris Reis of the one-hit wonders, Super Bowl heroes, Saints playoff legends. I feel like Chris Reis kind of gets lost. When we talk about the Super Bowl and the playoffs, we talk about Drew Brees, we talk about Pierre Thomas, we talk about Morstead. But when you talk about ambush, the dude at the bottom of the pile, Kevin, was Chris Reis. And I don't even want to think about the foul things they were doing to that man at the bottom of that pile in a Super Bowl to try to get that ball.
I bet he could tell you.
I mean, so I'm just saying, he's forgotten. So, you talk about a one-hit wonder and a legend. Chris Reis deserves to be in this bracket. But number 9, Charlie Clemons. Me and Kevin was in the preview podcast. You were stunned, Kevin, when I told you in 2001, Charlie Clemons had 13 and a half sacks for the Saints.
Right. And I proceeded to go look at the Pro Bowl roster, and I was just like,
how did he not make the Pro Bowl?
How did he not make it? And he ran into an all-time murder, a murderer's row of guys that you could just say it's defensible that he was kept out, which is still insane. The funny thing about Chris Reis is that he wasn't even the guy credited with the fumble recovery. It was Jonathan Casillas.
Yeah.
But everybody on the team says it was Chris Reis. And so it's
and here's the thing about Charlie Clemons. Here's the thing about Charlie Clemons, Dave. He had 13 and a half sacks in 2001. The rest of his career, he had 6.5 sacks. So he's the true definition of a one-hit wonder. 13 and a half sacks in 2001. He was out of the league by 2000.
Oh, wait, is it Juge?
That might be Juge coming.
Oh, shit.
Hey, what's up,
guys?
guys?
Juge.
Hey, when are we starting the podcast?
Maybe we can go back.
Funny.
An hour and 10 ago.
I don't really know much about Charlie Clemons. He was slightly before, right at the start of my time. I didn't know that about.
He had 16 sacks in a season.
Yeah, no, that's why he's on this list. Kevin walked away, but I didn't realize that Casillas was. I had no idea that Jonathan Casillas was credited with recovering that ambush. I always thought for sure. No, I always thought for sure it was Chris Reis. Everybody said it was Chris Reis.
See, I think with this.
Go ahead.
I'll vote first again. Here's the thing. I understand Chris Reis. Ambush, recovering onside kick. A seminal moment in Saints history. Probably one of the main reasons they have a banner, that they won a Super Bowl. I get all that. But just for the pureness, the essence of this tournament, again, Charlie Clemons, I think, is up there. 13 and a half sacks, 2001, 6.5 sacks, the rest of his career. And by the way, the 2001 Saints defense sucked. And yet he had 13 and a half sacks, 75 solo tackles.
It was inexplicable. His season, he was never good after or before.
Drugs.
And he was like lightning in a bottle for a year. It was really weird. Yeah. I mean, it probably was some sort of performance enhancing thing.
I mean, 13 and a half sacks. I think that's more sacks than Junior
Galette. No one sue.
I just said that's more sacks than Junior Galette ever had.
Do you know what we would give for anyone on the roster to have just 11 sacks this year?
Do drugs.
I would crime. If you told me I needed to crime.
DeMario Davis has never had that many sacks.
No.
I would crime.
If you told me I needed to crime to get the Saints a 13 and a half sack defensive end, I would crime. I'd be like, what do we need to do? What do we need to do to make it happen? So
have you seen Your Honor?
I have not. People tell me it's amazing.
It is so good.
I'm voting Charlie Clemons, man. That's what
I'm just going to say this. It's pretty much without comment, but just going back to the Steve Gleason thing. Chris Reis at the time was kind of the Steve Gleason heir apparent. Like he was the next long-haired safety who came up with the big special teams play after Steve Gleason. I feel like that's
he looks like one of Juge's frat brothers. That picture Chris Reis right there. He really does.
The Pike.
Anyway, I'm going with a Pike. I don't know. I wasn't around for Charlie. I'm going with Chris Reis.
Jude,
I'm going with Clemons, and I will say this: Reis is kind of like sad Benny Thompson or sad.
Oh my God,
Steve Gleason. He's like the special teams guy that wasn't as good as the special teams guys. Justin Hardy, JT Gray. Like I feel like Reis was kind of weaker than all those guys.
Dollar store.
He's like dollar store Gleason.
That's why you're supposed to love him, because he made the play he was supposed to make.
He didn't even make the play. He didn't recover.
You don't know that.
No. The team says that it was him.
Yeah.
The team says that it was in fact him.
The box score says it.
We clearly know that referees can incorrectly rule something.
No. Kevin, they're always right.
Butteridge says his mom liked Chris Reis. So Kevin, who do you vote for?
Wait, Butteridge's mom liked Chris Reis, or Chris Reis's mom liked Chris Reis?
Both. Yes.
Yeah, I'm voting Charlie Clemons. Again, that one season is utterly ridiculous. It's just.
Can you recap what happened before I got here?
Yeah, Gleason.
We voted Steve Gleason over Rob Ryan 2-1. Ralph suddenly had second thoughts because people in the chat were browbeating him for how dare you put Steve Gleason in this tournament. And it's like, look, everybody know. Look, we all love Steve Gleason.
Chad wanted Rob Ryan to win
for his post-football career, and he'll always be loved. He'd be loved just on the play by itself, but everything he's gone through and overcome, it just makes him more beloved. But again, this is about what you did on the football field you're encapsulated in that
box, in a vacuum.
Yeah, like if
so that was it, just Gleason and Rob Ryan.
Yeah,
that's right.
Just one matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I kind of protest Gleason being in this tournament also.
What? This is crazy.
He can't.
He's not a one-hit wonder.
Hang on a second.
You guys hate.
Maybe we need to go back.
This is crazy.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Is Juge quote unquote doing the right thing and refusing to certify the vote now? Is that what's happening?
How are you spelling thing? Are you spelling thing with an I or an A?
Steve Gleason could be out of this tournament if Juge had the courage.
The anti-ALS slander on this podcast is disappointing from Juge and Malbrow.
I'm just saying.
From Juge and Malbrow.
Wow. No, I mean, so
I showed up late. I don't get a vote.
No, so
maybe we can go back.
It's not lost.
There's no going back.
We can't go back.
So Gleason's fucked next week.
Maybe.
If Juge shows up, that is.
I mean, if he was going against Chris Reis, he'd have it in the bag.
Well, he might be.
So Thomas,
because this is a top 3-1. This is a top to bottom.
Yeah, that's right. That's another thing you missed, Jude.
Yeah, are you a top or a bottom, Jude?
Instead of left and right side of the bracket, we have top and bottom.
Are you a top or a bottom, Jude?
Can I announce the winner?
Are you guys familiar with the show The League?
We are.
Yeah.
Pete Top, Kevin Bottom has got to be one of the greatest fantasy football team names of all time.
Right. Which one are you?
All right, give us the winner, Thomas.
The winner is Charlie Clemons.
All right. So we're halfway through the matchups today. Thomas, what's next?
Thanks for watching the Saints Happy Hour. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Then find us wherever you get your podcast. And finally, go to saintshappyhour.com and become a patron of the best Saints podcast on earth.